Hello everybody, welcome to my How to Play series, where I hopefully teach you a thing or two and help you see different approaches in Gears of War 4. These guides are meant for both solo and team players, so even if you have a full squad, I encourage to watch them so you all understand the same things. This video will be about Guardian, a team slaying objective-based game mode. Now just in case it wasn't clear to you already, the idea of this game mode is to kill the opposing leader while protecting your own. As long as a leader is alive, the team can respawn. The respawns on that team end, and whoever's left alive or respawning will be on their last life. So now that we have that out the way, let's begin. Tip number 1. If you're the leader, do not camp the main spawns. Your goal should be to assist your team by bringing in respawning players closer to the action, instead of making them run back through the entire start of the map. The respawns in Guardian are long, so if your teammates end up dying a bunch, you'll grant the other team so much space and time that they'll have no problem trapping your whole team with an unlimited supply of power weapons. Although you might be the leader and your life is more important than others, it doesn't mean you should not help provide support fire. After all, your team will be one rifleman down if you decide it's better to stare at the walls. It's always better to try and fight with your team than die after 50 minutes of spawn trapping. Tip number 2. If you're not the leader, you should always know where your leader is. This should go without saying, but without your leader, there is no win. Literally. You as one of the normal players need to understand when to be aggressive and when to be defensive. You should be the sword or shield your leader needs when they need it. I believe it's better to treat every game as if you're playing by yourself, so that way you can learn to focus on the leader individually and not get too dependent on expecting the other players to communicate for you. So use your TACOM and use it loads. And of course, pay attention to the leader's body language. If they seem as if they're under stress or moving very quickly, chances are very high that they're under attack. Tip number 3. Figure out the common sniper and explosive angles. A good slayer knows angles to fire from on any map, making him or her a huge threat to the enemy leader. The goal when using explosives is to find the unpredictable fire location, preferably where a leader can't actually see you fire at all. On maps such as Clock Tower, these would be the high walls above the spawns. For snipers, you have to be patient and find the area where the leader is first. Then you have to premeditate your attack, imagining where you'll move towards and find the specific angle for the headshot. If you do intend to attack using your long shot, try to keep it hidden as long as possible. That way the leader will never know until it's too late. Tip number 4. Learn the initial rush patterns. Like in every game mode, players have a tendency to run a certain direction out of spawn. Attacking and defending in Guardian works a bit differently because the leader is the playmaker, whether they like it or not. My advice is to pay attention to your own and enemies' team's rush out of spawn, and count how many enemies you see going left, middle, or right of the map. Teaching yourself this can increase your confidence into any initial fight immensely, because you'll be prepared for what is to come, and can change your strategy accordingly. Another reason to learn these patterns is to know whether or not the leader has left the spawn, or even know where the leader is located without actually ever having to see them. Tip number 5. Guard first, strike after. The idea of guard first, strike after means that at the start of the game, your goal should be to acquire the power weapons and map control to protect your leader with, and increase his chances of survival. Too many times, players get overly aggressive and chase after kills with their power weapons, instead of protecting their leader first. This especially happens when your team kills the leader without knowing where all the enemies are, because more often than not, good enemy players will know that their leader is about to die and lay a trap for your own leader whenever they feel comfortable enough to leave their position. So always remember, guard first, strike after. And now for my last tip, tip number 6, know when to fight and when to flee. Whether you are a normal player or the leader, you must always have a plan B to use when things get too hot to handle. As a leader, this is obviously even more important. You have to think rationally and understand that sometimes you just can't fight back. And even if your back is against the wall, you have to focus solely on dodging the enemy fight while making your escape. Believe it or not, but a lot of players are not used to chasing an enemy that is not shooting back. And the same goes of course for the other end. Sometimes you have to fight. For example, when you're all that stands in between your leader and the enemy team, you have to understand that you are the last line of defense. You must do your absolute best to create as much time for your team to reinforce you. So there you have it, 6 of my personal reminders when playing Guardian. I hope I've managed to open your mind a little bit about the certain whys and hows. Apply these ideas to your game and let me know how you liked them. As always, if I did help you out and you did like the video, please consider dropping a like and sharing the video with your friends. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing for more future content. My name's Dutch, and I bid you a great day. Take care and good luck.